Tribal Roads Department, we keep track of everyone that's enrolled in the tribe. Currently, we have 35,024 people as tribal members. What we do is that people will enroll and we go through the application process to make sure they are eligible for enrollment. If anyone's wanting to become a member of our tribe and they don't really know, I will ask if they have a parent that's enrolled on the tribe. If not, then we'll have to do some further research, because sometimes some of these people don't even know that their parents may be enrolled. Sometimes we have people that apply for membership and they've already been enrolled. So basically what we will do is gather up some information to take us to the enrollment application form. The only requirement is that you have a biological parent that's on the road, because we go by descendancy. Prior to 1989, you either had to be born before June 30th, 1961 or be 1/8 Indian. In 1989, they opened it up to descendancy. The easiest application that I get is a 2-page application along with the birth certificate. And the birth certificate should show who the biological parent is that's on our roads. It doesn't matter if it's the mother or the father. They have to be on the birth certificate. If they're not, then we have to take one step further, which is the court documentation that states who the true biological parent is, because that child could have been adopted and may not even know who the real biological parent is if it's a closed adoption. If it's an open adoption, they will supply us with adoption papers that shows who the biological parent is. Or in some cases, we have to rely on a DNA test. And it has to be a legal DNA test, and that means they have to take the test at a lab. They collect the samples at the lab and their identity is verified. We don't accept these in-home test kits because anyone could just take a swab.
Once he gets it processed, then it goes to me and Spring, and then we process it from there. So from there, I do it a certain way. So I do family charts. So I go and make sure all the, ancestors and everything are, all together in order and everything before I process anything. So other than that, then we do the blood degree letters. We have to put it in the Excel sheet, make sure everybody has an enrollment number. We create their file. We entered it into our new system. From there, then we print off, we have to do envelopes, we get their packets ready and everything. Everybody gets a welcome packet. Once they get enrolled, they get a legislator letter. And then once we get those ready, they just sit until we have a legislative meeting. That's normally 3 to 4 months from now. And then once they all get enrolled, once the legislative meeting comes through, then we have to go back and activate every tribal member. And then once that's done, then we can start mailing their packets and mailing their cards out. The enrollment, what's important is that, it does take time. It's not, something we can do within that day. It does take a process. And then that we only have, 3 to 4 months, legislative meetings. So I know people, need to hurry up and get it done, but, I think that's important to know, because it's not something that we can just, get it pushed through real quick and just the next day or anything like that.
Some of the biggest problems that I've seen are parents waiting to enroll their kids when they turn 18, when they're getting ready to go to college. And one of the things that our tribe does offer is a scholarship program. And they wait to the last minute to get their kids enrolled, and then they may miss a semester or 2 semesters of getting some help from the scholarship department.
We deal with a lot of tribal members. We deal with a lot of non-tribal members. A lot of phone calls, people call in, different questions. How do we become a tribal member, or call in with just they need assistance, or can they get help? Can we point them in the right direction?
We have people who walk in, we have people who email us, call us, send their ID card request forms in. So we get requests from all over. And what we do is we keep all the membership records current.
We deal a lot with personal information, confidential documents, things like that, they come in, they share that information with us, provide that with us, and it's really confidential, and we keep that to where we don't share that with others.
We make a lot of cards. Like right now, we've had almost 400 new enrollments. And so we're making 400 new cards and sending out the welcome packets. But there are two of us in the one area in tribal roles, Renee and I. And what we do is we really service our tribal members because it's so important that their records are straight, that they have all the documents that are pertain to their membership, whether it's marriage licenses, their birth certificates of their new children, anybody who has died, all that information goes into the records, and we handle all the burials. In fact, I handle the burials when the people call in or the funeral home calls in to notify us of a tribal member's death. All that information goes into the records for that tribal member. And then I send out letters to whoever the contact is, whether it's a family member or the funeral home, and a burial form. And then we receive back a death certificate and the financial statement from the funeral home. And the $2,000 gift from the tribe then goes to the funeral home for the burial expenses or to the family member who's already paid for the funeral. I get calls where people are crying because their family member has just died. Sometimes it's the same day as the death. And so it's very, very important that our tribal members know how much we care for them and how much we want to help the families. So that $2,000 gift for some people is just a lifesaver because they haven't prepared for the family member's death. And so that pays for a cremation or goes toward the burial expenses.
And, you know, Betty does a lot of the burials. Well, she, you know, and I do a lot of the enrollments and getting the cards ready and assisting and things like that. But whoever picks up that call, you know, they hear the story. You want to help tribal members. You want to help people. You have to have compassion.
I find that's a very, very important part of what we do as a tribe. We take care of people from the time that they are born and their parents enroll them into the tribe to when they pass away and know that they're going to be missed and that they were appreciated. We do a lot of other things too. We get a lot of phone calls, and the phone calls can be anywhere from how do I get a new card, or how do I get a burial form, to what can I do to find out where my heritage starts with the family, because I've just gone to Ancestry.com and I found out that I'm Native American and I want to know which tribe I belong to. And some of them they don't even realize that there's more than 5 tribes in the world in the United States. And so we feel like it's important for us to pass information on to people, even though they may not be our tribal members, that they can seek their information. So we pass on the information about the Bureau of Indian Affairs, or if they say, well, I think my mom was Choctaw, then we say, then you can get a hold of the Choctaw Nation, and we give them the phone number. Or what's really interesting is that a lot of people do not realize there are 9 Potawatomi tribes, and they think we're the only tribe, we're the only Potawatomi tribe. And so we send them a list of all the 9 Potawatomi tribal bands or nations, and with all the contact information, so that they can find where their ancestor came from and where they belong. So we find ourselves kind of like an informational center. I'd like for people to know that one thing that's so important is that if they want some information, for instance, how to get a new ID card, they can go to Potawatomi.org, the website, and click on Services, and Tribal Roles will come up. And under Tribal Roles is a list of forms. They can get the enrollment application form, which has all the instructions on the very first page. They can get an ID card request form that they can fill out and send in a new photo. They can get a burial form, and hopefully we just created a new name change form that we're going to get on that list. So everything that they need in order to change anything on their tribal membership can be found at that location. I think one of the most important reasons that a mother or father should consider very, very seriously is if that biological parent who is a tribal member does not enroll, then their children cannot enroll. And we've had that happen, and it's tragic because we have had people call wanting to enroll. They know they're Potawatomi, but their mother or father, whoever was Potawatomi, didn't enroll or won't enroll. And then the child cannot enroll because we're a descendancy tribe. And if that descendancy is broken, if there's a gap, then none of the children's grandchildren, great-grandchildren can never get enrolled in the tribe.
We're here for the tribal members, and anything that they need or any information that we can help them with, which we normally do. We get a lot of phone calls, just need to know who they need to talk to. And sometimes, you know, a lot of people, like, especially for the burial, you know, it's important for people to just, you know, just listen to them and let them, you know, just listen and see what they have to say, you know. So it's good when you can listen to somebody and help them out, you know, for their day to go on, you know.